Check. Well, that one was clearly on me. Let me just right off the bat, that loss clearly on me. I wore the wrong cap, wore the wrong lid, wore the wrong hat. So, dang, what a way to learn a lesson, right? My bad, everybody. That absolute horror show that we all had to endure yesterday. My bad. Now, there were a whole bunch of you online, some ambitious and optimistic fans predicting a sweep or the gentleman's sweep. All along, I was saying Mavs in 6 or 7. Like that was my kind of putting on the Wizards cap and the fortune teller looking into the crystal ball. That was mine all along the way, was saying, hey, probably something closer to a 6-game series was what I was feeling. But man, could not have projected what we saw or predicted what we saw yesterday. So you watched it. I watched it. Probably watched every brutal, painful second of it. Felt like a 2.5-hour heart attack, basically. And so just some of my notes right off the top are, Jason Kidd is never going to be the kind of coach that gives you an advantage, in-game advantage. Now, during the regular season, he was at least pretty good at making the right calls to challenge the right plays. Yesterday, he couldn't even figure that out. But the game, I did not expect to say this, the game felt too big for almost everyone wearing a Dallas uniform or sitting on the Dallas sideline. Which I'm going to use a word I never use. I'm flabbergasted, right? Like I have no sense in what was happening. I did not expect to see that. Now we had, D-Live's a rookie. Gafford and PJ haven't been in any real playoff games. But man, we've got Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. And absolutely, they failed to show up. They failed our team yesterday. We're going to look at a clip where Luka basically owns that in just a second. He's like, yeah, that was my bad. Yeah, my bad. Now we're down a game, Luka. Now we're down a game. Luka and Kyrie in that first half were trash. And not just because they were having a hard time hitting shots, right? But because they did not rally the troops. They were not effective leaders. I saw asinine things on Twitter X yesterday blaming the support players. I saw several posts go out saying something like, well, Luka and Kyrie did their job. What game were you watching? Luka and Kyrie did their job because by the end of the buzzer, they had put up some stats. You obviously missed the first 24 minutes of the game where Luka and Kyrie had the chance to rally their troops and absolutely fell flat on their faces into a pile of manure. They were playing without conviction, without force, without passion. They were letting the Clippers dictate everything to them in the first half. Where was the dominant dynamic duo that we have been seeing this season, especially over the last 20 games or so? Where was this duo that said, Pick your poison. We're going to kill you. We are going to put our boot on your throat. This is over for you. It's night-night for you. That duo did not show up in the first half. They were absolutely absent of those first 24 minutes. And I was just shocked. They were letting the Clippers push them around, tell them where they can get their shots from. I was just shocked. I just glancing down at a couple of my notes that I was taking during the game. I say the Mavs offenses look like it has no plan from the beginning. Here's something that I'm probably not going to spend a ton of time on, but that's Maxey is such an absolute zero on offense that it makes the significant positive he is defensively, I mean, almost worthless. Because Maxey is a solid, good defender, especially when you get those Maxey games where he's all over the floor. He's impacting the defense. He's a great help defender. He's a great man defender. He's so switchable. But he is such a zero on offense. He is such a nil on offense. He's such a net negative on offense, right? That what he does for you on defense doesn't really matter unless the rest of the team is scorching hot. Because you were literally playing 4-on-5 on the offensive end when Maxey's out there. And I have stand for Maxey over the last 5 years. The last 5 years, I think. I have been such a huge Maxey fan. I was an early adopter to the Maxey technology, right? Like I was a quick on board train Würzburg, right? I was so ready to be a Maxey guy because I saw all of the positives he brought. I saw what he could bring to the game. Here we have a floor spacing big who can hit threes at a decent percentage, who's not going to kill you by making stupid decisions on the offensive end, but on the defensive end is so incredibly valuable. And now he's just not that guy. He's just not that guy anymore. And for us to pretend otherwise, like I watch the other Mavs pre and post games, and I see some of them really cheering Maxey on. What a great impact he made defensively. And I'm just like, yeah, too bad that's half the game. Too bad that's only one half of the floor. Because for the second half of the season, for pretty much all of this season, Maxey has been unplayable offensively. He has zero confidence. And you want to say to yourself, yeah, isn't he a professional basketball player? Shouldn't he have some pride and enough confidence to get himself going? I mean, the guy is terrified to take a shot. He doesn't want the ball in his hands. It's like a hot potato as soon as it touches him. Maxey's not the reason we lost the game. I'm sorry I spent the last minutes just, rampaging on. Like, Maxey's not the reason we lost this game. Luka and Kyrie are the reasons we lost this game. Coach Jason Kidd, those are the reasons we lost this game. You're looking for 3 reasons that we lost? It was Kidd didn't have an actual game plan other than, I hope you just keep doing what you've been doing, guys. I hope I can just keep riding the Luka Kyrie gravy train to an extension. He had no discernible plan. They weren't effective in their pick and rolls. There was no easy buckets for Gafford or Lively. I don't know what was happening in the pick and roll. Obviously, the Clippers are switching, and switches should be punishable by the Mavericks. And yet the Mavs weren't looking to Gafford, weren't looking to Lively. They just looked flummoxed. They looked so incredibly dispassionate. And I'm starting with Luka, and I'm starting with Kyrie. This idea that Luka and Kyrie got theirs, but the support players are to blame, that's like blaming the soldiers when the generals don't show up for the battle. Well, I guess our troops didn't have an effective way to win the battle. That's not their job. That's not their job. The troops are not the ones you blame if you lose the battle. You blame the generals. You blame the strategists. You blame the people who are actually in power to make decisions. People are so blinded by their Luka love or their Kyrie love that they can't actually see what happened yesterday. Yeah, by the end of the game, they had put up good numbers, decent numbers for them. And they did that spectacularly in 24 minutes. Too bad they only showed up in the second half of the game when the game was pretty much over. Now, did they have a chance? Yeah, they had a chance. But guess what? The Clippers just decided you're not going to get that chance because we're not going to roll over and turn this W into an L for you. Because that's what it would have had to happen. It would have had to require the Clippers saying, we played great in the first half. How about we'll stink in the second half and you can play great in the second half. And we'll just have a comparison between who can have the better half. Because certainly the Mavs could have won that game if the Clippers came in with that strategy and with that mindset. But they did not. They came to play for 48 minutes and the Mavs simply didn't. And the support players take their cues from their leaders. And their leaders absolutely failed them. We needed our two superstars to show up, and they came out completely and utterly passive. Luka taking some weak threes that he wasn't hitting, so he just kind of kept taking them instead of forcing the issue into the paint, instead of really taking advantage of the switches on Zubac. Like he just was content to take shots. And he got outplayed, not outscored, but significantly outplayed by James Harden yesterday. Harden was at one point 4 for 4 from three to start the game. And I think he was something like 4 for 5 by the end of the first half. Just upset. Upset. Not happy with what I saw yesterday from our two superstars, who I have been, just like you, I've been riding them and cheering them and praising them for all they deserve, as great as they have been. They deserve all the praise we've been giving them in the second half of the season. And Luka deserves all the praise we've been giving him all season. But the second season started yesterday, and neither one of them showed up in the first 24 minutes. And I think the whole Mavs fan base just collectively felt like we'd had the breath knocked out of us. It's been a long time since I've had the breath knocked out of me, the wind knocked out of me. I don't know about you. But that's what it felt like yesterday. Watching them struggle, watching them look so passive, watching them let the Clippers dictate all the actions, watching them miss bucket after bucket. Man, just really, really, really disappointing. Just really, really disappointing. So I tweeted this out at halftime or at some point in the first half. This Luka Kyrie showing is disgusting. And it was. I love those guys. I want them to make all the right decisions. I want them to make all the right passes. I want them to make every shot they ever take in their whole career. But the effort and the force that they have been playing with all this season was absent. Just absent. I'm afraid the Mavs heard the no Kawhi report and just rolled back over and continued their pregame nap. That's what it looked like. It looked like this is a team that thought they were going to sleepwalk to a victory against a team that has 3 for sure Hall of Famers playing yesterday with the 4th one on the bench. That's what it looked like. It looked like this team just thought, oh, no Kawhi? Chalk this one up as a dub. And the Clippers just kind of said, well, no, actually, we've got pride. No, actually, we're going to come out. And we're going to fight. We'll show you what force looks like on your home court. We'll show you what it looks like to have some integrity. We'll show you that we've got a spine. And here's the thing. Ifs and nuts, right? If ifs and nuts were candy and butts, we'd all have a... Ifs and butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. That's something my grandma used to say. What an old-timey phrase, right? If the Mavs had come out and played like they'd been playing the last 20 games... I bet this Clippers team does roll over because we know what Harden does. Harden is there. He's a front runner. I don't know about Paul George. Paul George can hit some tough shots. But man, they just did not. They did not show up. My guy here says, Luka and Kai were infuriating, but I closed the game after Timmy missed that layup in the second quarter. Here's the thing. I hadn't even mentioned Tim Hardaway yet because he's not the reason we lost. He's not going to be the reason we win very often. Not this version of Timmy Hardaway that we have in 2024. But, he's not the reason we lost that game, though. Yeah, is he infuriating? I put out the video talking about what I think about THJ. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Statistical kind of breakdowns of what he actually does, what actually happens when THJ is on the floor. And yeah, he was very THJ yesterday. But not the reason we lost. Not the reason we lost. Our two superstars who have been carrying us on their powerful shoulders all season decided to come into this game sleepy. Like they were just not ready for this game. So disappointing. So discouraging, right? Here's a tweet I put out at halftime when the Mavs were down by 1 million. There's a bunch of petty MVP voters smirking right now with the effort that Luka put on display in that first half. Just gross. Our superstar, our basketball savior, right? The one that we have been relying on and comes through again and again and again. The one who we have all been championing, saying, this is the MVP of the league. Here's your MVP, NBA. Vote for Luka. He's having a historic, unique season. Give him consideration. Give him your votes. And that's how he shows up in game 1 of the playoffs. You have to know, with his petty and as lame as MVP media voters are, they were watching that game going, Jokic won his game. Later on in the night, SGA won his game. Luka couldn't win his. I voted for the right guy. My gosh. Now we're going to get to silver linings at the very end, right? We're going to get to silver linings at the very end. But I think it's okay to stew in this. And if you see anyone online saying, move on, get ready for game 2, you got to let this one go. Man, you can just ignore them. Just ignore them. They're trying to tell you how to be a fan. They're trying to tell you that they know more about the game than you. When they're just another fan like you. They're just a blogger. They're just a podcaster. You get to fan like you want to fan. And I think it's okay if you were extremely upset yesterday, extremely disappointed today. Now, should you carry that fury into game 2? Well, I sure hope the Mavs do. I sure hope we see Luka Doncic show up in the first minute of the game 2. I sure hope we see Kyrie force the issue. I sure hope we see them have that awesome 2-man game that we've seen them have all season. Listen, you might be going, the Clippers, they just had this strategy. They just had this defensive game plan. No. Now, are they a better coach team than we are? Yes, they are. Do they have better strategy, and will they likely have better strategy throughout this series? Yes, they will. But nothing they can throw at Luka and Kyrie can take them out of the game if they're ready to play. Luka and Kyrie are too great to be taken out of the game by anything the Clippers have to offer anyways. Right? There's no defensive stopper on the Clippers roster outside of potentially Kawhi if he's fully healthy, and he's not going to be fully healthy in this series. No. What we saw yesterday was a result of Luka and Kyrie not stepping up, shockingly. Though they'd stepped up throughout their careers, they did not step up yesterday in game 1. Let's start here. So here's the stats, right? I haven't said the score yet. I got it 109 to 97, but that's about 12 points too close, actually. Look at that first quarter, 22 to 34. Well, that stinks. Down 12 at the end of first quarter. Oh, no. The Mavs had more in store. They had one of the worst quarters in franchise history, if not the worst quarter in franchise history. Certainly, when you consider the big stage they were on, this has to be the worst quarter in Dallas Mavericks franchise history. 8 points in the second quarter, everybody. 8 points in the second quarter. Now, I was going to save this for later, but let me just say, as upsetting as that should be to every single fan, as shockingly catastrophic as that is, I'm going to tell you that a part of the silver lining is they will never do that again. They will never do that again. Because the Clippers were playing solid D, but that they weren't playing such great defense that it's 8 points in a quarter. They were playing the same kind of defense in the second quarter that they were in the first quarter. The Mavs just decided not to be NBA players for 12 minutes. The Mavs just decided to be rec league players against an NBA team for about 12 minutes. They just decided that they weren't going to make a shot for 12 minutes. Now, they did D up. Let's give them credit, right? This team will D up, and they did that again. Look, in the fourth quarter, only gave up 22 points. When the Mavs were storming back or trying to make their run, they held the Clippers to 22 points. Remember, I don't know if anyone else has been really talking about this, but I have now for a while. This idea that the Mavs have been holding teams to 20 points or under 20 points in the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarters at this alarming rate. And they did it again in the fourth quarter. Now, unfortunately, the game was effectively over. They were giving all of their energy just to try to claw back into this game, and they couldn't because of the pathetic effort of the first half. But this team will defend. That is who they are. That is who they are. What's up, Marcel? What's up, Mavs Digest, my man? This team will defend. And the silver lining is you will never see this team ever give you anything remotely close to an 8-point quarter. Like, that's just like snatching the soul out of somebody. That's just snatching the heart out of somebody. So you will never see that again from Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. You will never see that again from these Mavericks. That's just unthinkable. And yet it was the reality in game one. So let's look at some of these stats. I just want to fly through this because these things don't really matter. It was the effort. It was the lack of passion. It was the lack of focus. It was the lack of drive that really stuck it to us in that first half. Mavs shot under 40% from the field. That for the game, that sounds right. 46%, whatever. Mavs shot 30% from three. That feels about right. Clippers shot 50%. That feels right. Mavs are fine on turnovers. Man, this team just doesn't turn it over. I always want to... If you're going to applaud them for something, they're a low turnover team. They really are. They only got out rebounded by 4. They got out assisted by a ton because of all the bricks, all the shooting. They're always going to have more blocks than the other team. Let's see here. There we go. Offensive rebound by only 1, so that's close. Points off turnovers, that's great. That'll lead to a win at some point in this series. The points off turnovers and the fast break points. Fast break, look, this team, the Clippers do not run. They can't run. They've got those old man legs. The points off of turnovers and fast break points, that will determine at least one win in this series. You mark my words. Points in the paint, 36-32. Clippers win because of Zubac and because of our absolute inability to get Gafford and D-Live going. And the second chance points, even at 16. Here's Luka's game. Oh, more Luka blowing up in the playoffs, right? Mavs are going to bounce back, Marcel. Remind people who we are. I love that. Yes, they are. But that doesn't mean game 1 didn't happen, right? We can still live in this moment. We got to, hey, by tomorrow, it's all game 2 and optimism, and I'm hoping, right? But right now, I think we need to digest what happened yesterday. So Luka plays a ton, 33 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. You might go, oh, another great Luka playoff game. Nope. You might go, oh, how did Kyrie perform in the game? 39 minutes for the little guy. 31 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 turnover. 10 of 18 from the field. Heck yeah, Kyrie showed up. Nope. No. 2 amazing halves of basketball from Luka and Kyrie. Here's Luka's second quarter when the Mavs scored 8 points. 9 minutes, 0 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, nothing. 0 for 5. 0 for 5 from the field. When the game was slipping away, you need the MVP of the league, who I believe is Luka Doncic, to show up and go, guys, I know y'all don't got it right now. I got you. And instead, Luka was unable yesterday to step up when the game was slipping away. You said, well, what did Kyrie do in that second quarter? Well, in the second quarter, Kyrie played 10 minutes and gave us 2 points off of 1 made basket and only 3 attempts. 1 rebound, no assists, 1 steal, no blocks, -13 in the quarter. Absolutely catastrophic no show. You say, well, how did the support players play? I don't care is the simple answer. I don't care how they played is really the answer. Let's see. This is how they did, though. PJ, 11.7 rebounds. You can win a game with that from PJ. You can win a game. You can win a playoff game against these Clippers with PJ giving you 11.7 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, and really nice defense. And a game where we got blown out, PJ was only a -1. D-Live, that plus minus is scary because I didn't see him playing this poorly, but the team was just so bad throughout those stretches. 3 points, 4 rebounds. 0 assists, 0 steals, 3 blocks for the young man. 3 blocks for the young man in only 19 minutes. Some really stellar defense, I thought, from the young guy in his first game action back since recovery from his ankle sprain and the passing of his beloved mom. Maxi Kleba, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Come on, man, a +6 for Maxi? A +6. Obviously, Maxi played great. Watch the game. Watch the game. And watch what happens when Maxi has the ball in his hands. Watch the game. He is such a valuable defensive player. But if he refuses to shoot the ball, if he just can't connect occasionally on these wide open threes, then he is half a player. He's half a player. And if you're comfortable with him being half a player, good on you. But what I'm saying is we've got 2 centers who can play both ends of the court. Now, they didn't yesterday. Gafford was atrocious. We'll see his stats in a second. Gafford just got bullied by Zubac yesterday. Just got absolutely little brothered. Just crazy. Yeah. When it comes to Maxi, don't watch his box score. Watch him. Yeah. If you have a player that refuses to shoot the ball when he's wide open, and when he finally does shoot the ball when he's wide open, it's catastrophically off, let your eyes tell you that he's not helping. He's not helping the offense. You're playing 4-on-5 out there. You're playing 4-on-5. I love the guy's defense. I've legitimately, this isn't just like, hot air. I have legitimately been one of the loudest voices. Me and Bibbs, if you know Bibbs Corner, me and Bibbs were the 2 loudest pro Maxi voices in his entire career at the Mavs since day one. And man, the guy just cannot produce offensively now. Maybe he could come out of it. Maybe he's going to have a game where he hits a few. He's so valuable defensively. But you're playing 4-on-5. And then Tim Hardaway. Josh Green actually in his minutes showed up, played nice. Maybe he'll have a bigger role in this game. I would love to give all the Timmy Hardaway 15 minutes to Josh Green. Just keep me away from THJ. Keep me away from THJ. That's a rhyme. I should get it tattooed on me, right? Josh Green at least had heart, at least had passion, was at least out there playing hard, right? Here's the rest of the Mavs. Derek Jones, 0 points, 0 assists, 1 rebound, no steals, 2 blocks, 17 minutes. If you are going to blame Derek Jones Jr. for this loss, you don't understand basketball. I mean, was he bad? Oh, yeah. Offensively, he was a heart attack. Absolutely. Dante Exum in 15 minutes. 3 minutes, 2 rebounds, no assists, no steals, no blocks. Yeah, sure. Daniel Gafford, 3 points, no rebounds. No rebounds. Gafford with more fouls than rebounds. Gafford was a tragedy yesterday. I've never seen him look so overwhelmed. So not himself. Zubac is a big old boy, right? He is a bully. But you could still get him in the actions with pick and roll, and the Mavs just could not get Gafford anything, and he just had absolutely nothing. He had absolutely nothing. And then, of course, Dwight, he barely played. All right, here's the thing. I want to play this Luka clip. It's just a very, very short clip. Listen to this clip from Luka yesterday, our MVP. And I don't say that ironically. Our MVP, the MVP of the league. And yet he has to come out like a man and face the music. And he owns up to it. But let's hear what he says.
I just got to stay aggressive. That was my bad in the first half. Wasn't aggressive enough. So I just got to stay aggressive and find the open man.
Say it again.
I just got to stay aggressive. That was my bad in the first half. Wasn't aggressive enough. So I just got to stay aggressive and find the open man.
Yes. Yes, Luka. Listen, do I appreciate him having the integrity to own up to it, to acknowledge? Yes, absolutely. Our MVP, our beloved Slovenian, our superstar. And he came out in the first half without passion, without conviction, without force, without being able to play his game, but not looking like he really was trying to play his game. Just Just shocking. Like, I'm proud of him for owning up to it. Like, I would have been surprised if he hadn't owned up to it, right? But the fact that he had to say those words is still mind-blowing to me. I don't know about you, but it's mind-blowing to me. All right, so let's see what you guys are feeling, thinking. I know I had a community group yesterday, but I asked some of you guys just a few minutes ago, what's one thing you changed for game 2? What is one thing you changed for game 2? And then Blake said, I love Blake. By the way, if you don't follow Blake Stakes, that's a great Mavs follow, right? Not a large account or anything like that. Doesn't have media access or background info, but just a really smart hoop head. And so if I could send you, if you're looking for more good Mavs accounts, Blake is a really, really good one. I followed him for years and years. So if you could change one thing, Blake says, well, how about one play? Kid challenging the Harden 3. Remember that Harden 3, that, I want to say mean words. I don't blame Harden for being Harden. I blame Kid for not knowing that that's Harden. I blame the Mavs staff for not seeing what we all saw, which was Harden making the most unnatural maneuver, non-basketball play you've ever seen, as he sticks his leg out into Maxey, who was flying by him safely. First off, shame on the refs for still falling for this garbage after all these years. Okay, I've said that, right? That's my one ref rant. That they keep falling for this guy's shenanigans. They keep falling for his BS. But the fact that Jason Kidd had at least 20 seconds to challenge that thing before the free throw, probably more like 30 seconds to challenge that thing, while we are all watching replays of it going, ha, ha, ha. Like, honestly, I wasn't even that passionate about it because I was like, oh, easy challenge, easy reverse. And he didn't challenge it. Explain to me if there's something he couldn't have challenged right there. I'm pretty sure he could have challenged that because the foul would have been called against the foul that was called against Maxey would have been reversed. Now, I don't know how they work out who gets the ball and all that stuff, but that's 3 points. Harden is a fantastic free throw shooter. Oh my gosh. So Blake says, Kid not challenging that Harden 3. It was bad. It was bad to the call, but it led to a 12-2 Clippers run to end the quarter. Great stat there, Blake. Overall, Luka not shooting 1 for 7 from 3 in the first quarter. He fell in love with that 3, missed them all, and it killed the offense. Yeah, I agree. He didn't look like Luka. So the question is, what one thing would you change for game 2? And my boy Reese Conkle out there. Hey, talk about another great follow. Go follow Reese. He's awesome. _Mavs. What's the one thing Reese would change? Yes. We're so clever, aren't we, Reese? I get it, though. Change everything, right? Yeah. Nick, my buddy, the final score. Okay. I love you, Nick. What's up, man? JMO says, can't pick just one thing, but if I had to, I would run more plays that would get the role players easy baskets. Derrick Jones Jr. is more of a slasher, not a shooter. PJ ain't a shooter. Let him slash, run some of the pick and roll action. Okay, yeah, I'm down for that. Anything other than what they did, which was look lost for the entire first half, would have been a nice change. Would have been a nice coaching change from the head coach. Dr. Leo says, our centers need to play better. Heck yeah, they do. Zubac isn't a 2015 guy. Oh, no, he isn't. It was an all-time playoff scoring high for him. We got him so comfortable. He took 17 shots. That's absurd. Yeah. You got to get that guy moving in pick and roll action. And they'll drop, so you should be getting good looks from 3, right? Midgar says, Maxey can't be played because of the offensive end. There's an extra defender below the 3-point line. Yeah, they're just daring Maxey to shoot shots, right? The jig is up on Maxey. Like, everybody knows he doesn't want to shoot it. He's got no confidence right now. But Kid is going to keep playing him because of the defensive impact. And Kid is a defense-first kind of coach and defense-first player. Chad says, I'll admit stole from my body, from my boy, but run PJ at 5 and Josh Green gets all of THJ's minutes. Yeah, I'd try that. See what happens. Especially that second part about Green getting THJ's minutes. Spreezo, that's a fun one. Spreezo says start Maxi. Start Maxi. So we go from Maxi can't play to start Maxi. Space the floor. Is that what Maxi does? Does Maxi space the floor, Spreezo? Space the floor and let the boys work. Gaff and Live weren't ready. Gaff definitely wasn't ready. I thought D-Live for coming back. I mean, you eventually have to get him in the game. You eventually have to get him back in there, right? And so, yeah, I mean, like the Mavs were playing so poorly when he was out there for sure. But I thought D-Live was playing some solid defense in his minutes. Seth, okay. So sorry. Fenley says, making open shots, to be honest, it's one of the things that bother me every game. I don't expect for every open shot to go in, but it's annoying watching us force turnovers and miss open shots constantly. Yeah. And our support players are not great shooters, right? They aren't. So they're going to miss a lot of pretty good looks. But they were not the reason we lost yesterday. We lost in the first half, and we lost because of Kyrie and Luka Doncic. Seth on Sports. Score more points than 8 in the second quarter? I'm with you. I'm with you, Seth on Sports. I'm with you. Ben says, I think it's to score about 40 instead of 8. Yeah, good strat, right? Good strat. Roaring says, more minutes for Green. Love that. Yes. Segson says, Luka and Kyrie have to be more aggressive from the first minute. Heck yes. Rami says, this rotation. Sorry, I'm not going to click it right now. Lionel says, start lively, exert more effort in transition. Yeah, because the Clippers will absolutely not run. No more of these, headband Luka. Yeah, 8-point quarters. Let's be done with that. I'd put Green in the starting lineup. Ooh, for Derrick Jones Jr., for DJJ. That's interesting. Give Powell some minutes. Oh, I hope that's irony there. Nathan says, how we approach the Zubac matchup. Think that caught us off guard, and yeah, absolutely caught us off guard and then cost us incredibly. Loco Roberto says, stop messing with the threes when they're not going in and attack the basket. Not sure how they let Zubac dominate them. Was like might as well go with Powell and Kleba. Jared says, don't lose. Yeah, and then Mr. Don6 says the score. Yeah, change the score, right? Okay. Guys. Okay, so the silver lining is, like we said earlier, they will never have another 8-point quarter. It's impossible for this team to ever look that ugly ever again. Ever again. We need our superstars to come out and just to be who they are. Take a deep breath. I've been angry this whole time, but just realize all we need to change is for our two superstars just to be who they are. Not to give us the best game they've ever played. We don't need 73 from Luka. We don't need 50-something from Kyrie. No, we just need them to be who they are. So the silver lining, this is just one game. And I believe that Luka and Kyrie have enough pride, enough integrity, and more than enough skill to come out in game 2 and make the outcome the one we all want. Until Tuesday night, let's try to get over the sadness from game 1, believe in our boys for game 2, and frickin' go Mac.